Hey guys, it's Tom. As you know, when I do videos, I do a couple of them together, so they all look the same because I'm doing them together. Anyway, it's going to be kind of a long video, so hang in there. Colonial knives. Colonial knives was a household staple back in the 50s, 60s, 40s, even, and 70s and 80s. So they were around for about 50 years. It was a staple name in a household. Boy Scout knives, Camp King, stuff like that. Um, your hunting knives, if you wanted a decent knife, at a decent price in them days, you went to Colonial or Imperial, but Colonial was a little bit better quality than Imperial. But they did everything. They made fixed blades, they made folders, they made you name it. The famous Barlow knife. They were famous for the Barlow knife. And in fact, I have one here. The Barlow, the original one. I bought it in the packaging. Is what they call a. What did Steve say that was? A-frame packaging. Cardboard like this. You set it out on the board like that. So a Barlow, brand new, back in the early '70s, was running $3.95, which, considering a man back in them days made about $1.75 to $2 an hour, that was kind of pricey. But you got a good knife out of it. Then they made stuff like this. This is the Granddaddy Barlow. It's not going to focus. But it does say Colonial. Okay. It does say Colonial. And, it's got like a 3 3/4 inch blade. Plastic handles. There was a lot of them plastic handled ones out there. And, like I said, they made a lot of knives. Let me get right back to you. I'll show you another one. Okay, I'm back. So, raise myself up here a little bit. Going up. So this is just one I had laying around handy. This is called the Super Sporty. It's a hunting knife from the 40s and 50s. Carbon steel blade, 5-inch blade, believe it or not. It's a nice little knife. Beautiful little hunting knife. I mean, for a young man or even an old man. I've got a buddy of mine that bought one back in the 70s and still using it. I mean, he shot a lot of deer, cleaned a lot of deer, a lot of squirrels, rabbits, and stuff with it. So, yeah. So, like I said, Colonial was a household name. Lately, they dropped off the map, which is a shame because we'd like to see them get back on the map. They are the oldest family-operated business, knife business in the United States. 3 generations. 3 generations running it now. Steve Palamatino's running it. If you want to catch an interview with him, you can go over to Chiorboyz with a Z Outdoors or JS Bladecraft, and they have a podcast with him from New Year's Eve. It was a great show. Me for being a businessman and a knife man, he's got a really good disposition. So, with all this coming together, I'll show you why. Now, Colonial, considering they started in 1926, used to make knives for the Navy and the Army in World War II. But mostly you'll hear of their Navy deck knives. Now, I'm not tooting my own horn here. I got to know Steve over the course of time and doing reviews for him and whatnot. And if you get up into the newer knives, they have a CE 400 Defiance, which is a 6-inch blade survival knife that you'll never get any better quality. They have a CE 100, which is a little 4-inch bushcraft hunting fishing type blade. All comes with Kydex sheaths. That is the same deal. They're both 3/16 thick, and they are basically indestructible. I haven't been able to damage them. Nice micarta handles. Both of them made and designed by Abe Elias from Diving Sparrow Knives up in Canada. And then they manufactured here in the United States. So you're getting a U.S. knife. And right now he's got a BOGO sale he had going on. If you buy one, you get one. So this 400 Defiance would cost you $150, but then you could get the CE 100 for free. So you might as well say you spent $75 for a knife. They make parachute knives for the military. They still have military contracts for different other knives. They're still around, and they're still going strong, and they still make one excellent knife. So, but all of that said, Steve got a hold of me the other day. He said, I'm going to send you down a package. Oh, okay. So he sends down a package, and the first knife I opened was this little beauty. Now, this is the original pattern of the Navy deck knife. I took it out of the sheath. Beautiful knife. Absolutely gorgeous. And it weighs like, if it weighs 2 ounces, it's lucky. Now, according to Army Ordnance, the tang comes down to about here in the blade. The rest of this is plastic overmolded. Army or Navy Ordnance says, we need knives now, we don't care what they're made like, just do it. They didn't even want a point on them. I guess reason being they didn't want anything, getting punctured. So I guess that was the point. So that's why you see kind of a rounded tip on this. They didn't care what they had as long as they had a knife to give the guys. So Colonial went through and, they made them their knives that they wanted. So what this is it's a 5-inch blade, 1095, sharp as a razor. You can see Colonial imprinted there. On the other side it says USN. It's not US Nuts, that's US Navy. There's a small guard right here to stop your hand, which is made out of plastic. Plastic handle with grooves, so your sweat or whatever takes the water away, but it does give you a solid purchase. I have to admit, this is one comfortable knife. And a big pommel in the back, so if you needed to whack something, you could do an okay grip, or your hand wouldn't slip off cutting or anything. So it's an 1/8 inch thick. Like I said, they just wanted something to throw at the guys and say, here, you can use this. And that's basically the blade. Sharp as a razor. Let's see if we can get something to cut here. Try some of this bank line I had before. Now, I thought this was the new production. This isn't. This is one of the originals from World War II that they had laying around. So, if you were in the Navy, you needed to cut line, or you needed to cut strapping bands on different cases, you had a knife with you. This is the sheath. It's basically a waffle type sheath. Looks like about a 2-ounce leather on both sides. Pardon me. It's got a welt in it. Now, if you're looking at the sheath, you're going, man, what a piece of garbage. Forget, these were just thrown together for the Navy. They weren't like, professional grade, nothing like that. They just slap them, throw them out the door as fast as you can get them. It's got a nice, generous belt loop, though. And, of course, one retention strap, because back in them days, one retention strap was considered okay. The knife fits the sheath fairly well. And you wind up with a good-looking thing on your side. Considering they were in salt water and stuff, the Navy did used to issue kind of like a waterproofing gel that you rubbed into the leather till it couldn't take it anymore, and it kind of set the leather for you. But it's got some really good riveting on it. It's not coming apart, and even if the stitching and everything came apart, it's still riveted together, so it's a solid sheath. Now this knife, as far as a knife, the original is, I'm not going to use it, but if you buy one of these from Colonial, you're getting a 5.5-inch hunting knife. That's absolutely comfortable, absolutely manageable, in all grips. I call this the upside down skinning grip. You got your saber grip, hammer grip, reverse grip, and you got your chest cut type thing, and all that happy stuff. But it's absolutely manageable. Balance weight on it is right at the pommel, or the Casso, I mean. Beautiful knife. I was really impressed. So now, that was the first knife I opened. So that's the reviewer knife. So the rest of them are just, this is what they is. So then I opened this cardboard box. Like, what's this? He sent me a boxed edition knife, which, Steve, I'm just blown away when I opened it. I just, kind of thing. I don't know if you can read it in there. Let's see. You'll see Navy Department Bureau of Ordnance. Prototype submitted 2 February 1941. Approved 25th of March 1945, I think it is. 42? 42. Yeah. Box edition. I am just so blown away by this. I never thought, and it wasn't just a box. There's a knife in the box. It's like a jack in the box, only this is a knife. No, you can't spin it and it jumps out. I have never taken this out of the sheath, so it's the way it comes to you, or it came to me. So then I looked it over. I was like, wait a minute. This is the same exact knife I have over there. So now you're going to be the first one taking it out of the sheath with me. This is USN Colonial knife, Providence, Rhode Island. This is the original. This should have been shipped for World War II and wasn't. So I've got one of the boxed original case or original knives that should have been shipped World War II. And it's got the kind of rounded tip again. It's got a better tip than the other one, but it's kind of a rounded tip. Plastic handles. There's no difference in knives than the other one. And I'm telling you, if you haven't found Colonial knives over your SEs and your everything else, because they have the same quality, same quality knife as your SEs, your Bark Rivers, stuff like that. You might not believe me, but once you put one of them CE 400s or 100s in your hand, or any of their switchblades or other knives, you'll understand what I mean. I've got a Elite Fest knife, 2023 here, that it's an orange parachutist knife that they still make for the military. It's got a switchblade, 2.5-inch blade on it, and a shroud cutter in the back. A beautiful knife. You're not going to stop them. But it's the exact knife that they issued to the servicemen and smoke jumpers and a bunch of other guys. So Steve, I'm blown away. I really am. I mean, I got not only 2 knives, but I've got an original that should have been sent through to World War II. Outside of that, he sent me a copy of the original letter. Hopefully you can read it. The original letter to the Army, or the Navy War Department, or the War Department, I should say, and everything that goes on with procurement and everything. So that is a copy. That's not an original, but that's all right because that's all right. I got the one here. Actually, there's 2 copies. Yeah, I haven't really looked over the paperwork yet. So yeah, he sent me 2 copies of the same thing. Respectively, John H. Highland, Captain USN, retired Inspector of Naval Material, and his grandfather's signature on here. Came from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's something, ain't it? So that's going to go on my my display shelf. My daughter bought me a display shelf for Christmas. So that's one of them that's going to go on the display shelf and never moved. So that's a little history of Colonial and Colonial blades and showing you some blades. Like I said, it's going to be a longer video, so if you hung in there just for the whole video, thank you. That was surprising because the history of these knives and the history of Colonial knives is one of Americana. It's not just, a BS knife company. This is the history of Americana. They've been around since the Depression. 1926 they started. So their knife company, along with a lot of other ones of course, but their knife company lasted through the Great Depression. That's saying something. So I'm going to fill the screen here with something and I'll be right back. Okay, I had to go get it. Make sure it fit the screen. So there you go. This Colonial Knife Company, and their website is www.colonialknifecorp.com. I'll leave it there so you can copy it down. I'll put it in the description too. Now you can go online, you can get their catalog, and they do come with a lifetime limited warranty. You send in your proof card. And, like I said, what great knives. Let me show you a couple of pictures here from their postcards. See, there's the deck knife we just looked at. There's some switchblades that they make. Down here is some police and jump fest knives. There's a shroud cutter for parachute and whatnot. See the shroud cutter there in the paratrooper's hand. That was from Leaf Fest, and that's the 5200. This one on the bottom here, this black one. This is also a assisted opening. So what it says on here, and I'll put it up here so you can see it. It's backwards, but you can get the information there. So I'll tell you what it says so you can't read backwards. It says, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Sincerely, should you have an issue with our products, please allow us to make things right. Sincerely, Steve Palamatino. I think I got that right. If I didn't, Steve, I'm sorry. President of Colonial Knife Company International. Email, the Colonial Knife, it's all small case letter, colonialknife@gmail.com. Or you can phone at 401-737-0024. I'll put that in the description too. Colonial Knife Company is established in 1926 in Providence, Rhode Island. It's an American brand manufacturing products for military, law enforcement, outdoor enthusiasts, tradespeople, first responders, and all of our products come with a limited lifetime warranty. Now, they do make knives for smoke jumpers, parajumpers, military, and that these shroud cutters and stuff they issue to these guys. Anybody who jumps into danger, Colonial makes stuff for. So basically, You know, there's a lot of knife companies out there that claim to. This knife company sends you their pedigree with. That means a lot. It's very respectable when a knife company says, hey, listen, we have a pedigree and here it is, you can look at it. Not just because of the amazing, amazing stuff I got sent. And there's even more to it, which we'll have to get to another video. Not just with the amazing stuff that he sent me. But like I said, it's a piece of Americana that we can't let go at this point in time. Most of our Americana become Chinese economy. This isn't. This is an American-made knife company by the oldest knife company, family-owned and operated in America. Now, we're missing out on it because they're shrouded in other knives. So this is Tom. And thank you for your time and your patience. Don't forget Colonial Knife Company. Like I said, podcast over at Chiorboyz Outdoors and JS Bladecraft. If you don't want to watch the podcast and you're a knife guy, look them boys up. They've got some. Joe is into swords and stuff, and he's now getting into knives. Chiorboyz is all knives and great channels. So get over there, give them a look. Get over to Colonial's website. It's kind of hard to navigate, but you can get through it. They also sell merchandise. They have coats, they have hats and mugs, and so get over there and take a look at them. That's all I can tell you. So this is Tom. Well, thank you for your time and your patience. Don't forget to share this video out, please, and don't forget to subscribe. That's the important part. And we will see you guys on the next one.